Hello everyone, Chief Canuck here with a little bit of a longer video because this is from 343's broadcast and reveal of Halo Reach's Firefight on PC. Now this is only a portion of the broadcast. The first part of the broadcast, which I have not included in this video, is where they talk about the Gears of War 5 partnership, where they're bringing Kat and Emil from Halo Reach as playable multiplayer characters to Gears of War 5. Really awesome. Links will be down below in the description for more details about that. And I also did a video on that, annotations, link in the description to that as well. It's on my channel, go check that out if you happen to miss it. But this portion of the broadcast that I'm showing you guys is the reveal of Halo Reach's Firefight on PC. Like I mentioned, that is the focus of the very next flight, which is coming very, very soon. I know they've been saying when it's ready, but it sounds like we're very, very close. According to the stream, they announced that all Ring 3 blockers have been resolved. If you've been following the blogs or postings on Twitter, you'll know that's one of the final hurdles that they have to get through before they put it into the hands of Halo Insider members if you're being granted access. So keep your eyes out on your inbox and spam folders as you might get that invitation very soon. Also announced, because I know this will be one of the next questions you're going to ask me, Chief, what about flighting on the Xbox? Well, that is happening next. The third flight they announced is going to be Xbox only and PvP focused. I know it's been taking a while to get Xbox flighting up and going. We found out during the stream that there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the Xbox One version. They not only have to just update Reach to bring it to the MCC and make sure it's running, but they also have to make sure each game within the collection on the console fits the memory constraints. So it sounds like there's a bit more tasks that they have to do with the MCC on Xbox. So fingers crossed everything runs smoothly with that flight as well. But this one is on Firefight, which is what you're about to watch. One major thing you're probably going to notice right away is Jackal shields don't disappear when they're down. That's a known bug. Again, everything is work in progress. Links will be down below in the description for more information about the Halo Insider program if you're unfamiliar. And also a link down below to the Mixer VOD, which will unfortunately disappear in 14 days. That is why I'm showing you this video, at least the portion of Firefight. Unfortunately, they only broadcasted this stream at 720p and 30 frames per second. A little unfortunate, but I know you guys are hungry for more Halo Reach on PC footage and information. As always, I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, smack that like button. It greatly helps out the channel. My name's Chief Canuck, and I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, very soon.
What hopper are they searching?
They're going to be searching Heroic Firefight.
Heroic Firefight.
So that brings us into a good segment here. So in terms of the content for this flight, this will be primarily focused on Halo Reach Firefight matchmaking. So with this, we're being, the things we're looking to validate, right, is our matchmaking flow, right? Our user is able to connect. Within this flight group we're looking at, we have users all over the world, right. I should say. So again, we have servers and deployments. Hey, look, they're in. They are in certain areas. So we have a Heroic Firefight hopper, which is heroic difficulty and allows you to play on 3 maps. We're do Beachhead. We're do Corvette, and we're do Holdout.
Which one's your favorite?
I would say Corvette.
Yeah. You just like the classic.
Well, for me and some of the maybe the old school guys in there, like I would always farm Grunt Apocalypse, Grunt Apocalypse to get credits and XP for Reach, and I just remember it was also a good warm-up exercise too. Like, sure, you're only shooting elite or grunts. But having Birthday Party on and then hearing all the yay, hooray, like, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed Corvette. It looks good as well. Unfortunately, we didn't, get the luck to load into Corvette. But that would, I'd say, be my favorite one.
I think Corvette is like the basic, like, it's the most standard, it's the most straightforward, and it's also, it's not as open as Holdout is, right? Like, you have...
Oh, that was amazing.
Right? Amazing. Amazing. You guys all saw that, right?
Everybody who plays with me knows that that's pretty standard.
Chat is amusing. Let's take a look. Xbox chat says it must be hard to have a game on multiple platforms.
It is.
I think there are challenges.
It definitely is challenging. I think, again, in our just sort of product vision for MCC PC is like we need to focus on the PC controls and the PC experience first. So what you see, I'd say after this game we can maybe go into the settings. I don't want to distract you during the game, Mr. Eric Fernand, but after the game we can look at the settings. We're having a field of view slider in there, sensitivity options, resolution scaling options, windowed, windowed mode, all kinds of different things for users that are PC players to be able to interact with. And I would say that has made things complex because these games were built for the Xbox all up.
Right.
However, we have the ability now, and working with our partners, Splash Damage and Ruffian, is we're able to obviously see how we can build a PC first experience for this.
Sure. Looking at chat, Eric Ocean Valdez says everyone in Halo's had a suicide moment. Don't worry, he's done it plenty.
Oh, I'm not worried.
Hopper says hi. Hi, Hopper. And he also thinks your Covenant Crunch shirt is pretty sweet.
Oh, thanks. It ties into what you were talking to Carlos and Corinne about.
It does. So would there be a crossover PC and console? I don't know that
We've yet to really talk on the
Crossplay.
the crossplay story. Again, these are features that we're looking at. We want to land the experience first on PC right now and make sure that we're delivering a product that is at the quality.
So, what exactly is your job? Like, how do you fit into all this, right?
On the team, on the 343 publishing team, just a producer on the team, right? So like within production, we get to work with engineering, design, art, test, all these different teams, as well as our external partners, right, that are out of the UK. And so with being in production, you have so many plates that are spinning, right? The engineering needs to, is working on delivering features.
Sorry, Scoops says you get grub coffee.
I do get grub coffee.
Yeah, it's true, he does.
And Mountain Dews. I got you a Mountain Dew.
That is
before
true.
this
That did happen.
Thank you, Thirsty.
But again, you're working with various teams, and so like when engineering has a feature ready to be completed, obviously test is in a place where they need to look at the feature and validate and write bugs, right? Which are, bugs are bad, but they happen. So
some are hilarious.
Some are hilarious.
That's true. I've seen some.
Yeah.
Eric linked us to like the video
Best
gifs.
of. We have
the
a
best
of repository of some of our greatest
They're
moments
so
of
good.
bug finding on the team.
Sometimes you have to wonder, like, how. Okay, all right. That's just gonna go with it.
Yeah. And it's amazing. So like that's a piece there with engineering, and then you hand off a feature that test is then playing and writing feedback on or validating in a build. And then you have, for example, art. Like something that happened today. Like our art director came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm looking at adjusting some of our HDR values for console. We don't have a debug tool right now that is hooked up, right?" And so like you're actually working and understanding like, okay, I need to work with engineering to make sure somebody writes debug or supports it. So the artist can then pick up and then start working. So I absolutely love it. Like being somebody that grew up being a people person, like it's been a role and a part of game development that I've really enjoyed, is that you work with a lot of really great and smart people.
So you're kind of like the go-to guy. You're organizing. You're the guy that has the task list and like the calendar. You're like, this is due here, this is due here. You need to talk to you. You need to talk to this person, and then we're gonna make it all come together.
Yes, that is the goal. And again, being a supporting factor for all the resources on our team.
So you heard a lot of cats.
Yeah.
All right.
There's more than one of me, one producer.
Yes,
we
but
have
I mean,
some others.
But everybody has their own, their own cats to herd, right? It's still,
of course.
I always think it's fascinating, right? Because obviously I deal with people, but I deal with people on a different scale and in a different way than you do. So it's always interesting to see how other people.
Yeah, like even like this flighting build is a prime example of that, right? Like working with our partners at Splash Damage, right? Like we're waking up, for 8:30 a.m. calls with them, which is like our flighting early morning call. We've assessed the build yesterday, and we've sent over feedback of what needs to get fixed. So for example, you can imagine like, okay, here's the ring 3 blockers that we need to have fixed, and they're in a time zone that they're ahead of us and essentially working on it. So when we come into that 8:30 a.m. sync, it's like, okay, we have bugs resolved, they're checked in, you guys need to kick off a new build.
Because they're working their standard 9 to 5 or whatever on their time zone, and we're working it here, so it's not like any one of us is offset to make sure that everybody's working together, right?
Yeah, and
it's
again,
hard.
Lots of coordination. I love Microsoft Teams.
I actually really like it. It's so much better than Skype.
I've been actually really enjoying it, again, with our external development with our partners. And back to that comment, like what I've noticed is when you get in a really good rhythm with working with these partners that are in, time zones that are ahead of you, you can really make a lot of progress on, again, bugs being fixed, being, making sure builds are constantly updating and being on the latest. And it does require some coordination, but if you do get in a good flow, it is pretty awesome to see.
So there's a couple questions. Let's see. Brute 1, Spartan 0. Yes, Grim is keeping score. Thank you. Ruffian and Splash Damage are both in the UK. Yes, that is correct. Hopper over in the Xbox chat wants to know if there's been any discussions about putting anti-cheat in place for PC MCC. Because I'm sure there's a lot of players concerned about that aspect on PC.
We are looking at cheating solutions for sure.
Right.
For PC. Again, goes back to that security feedback, right, that we saw last time. From just the last flight, again, users, sure, it was just campaign, and there weren't ways that you can manipulate
Right.
other users. Again, these are things that we address and we learn and we understand. Okay, what is the best solutions we can put forward? So to answer that question, yes, we're looking at cheat solutions that can help obviously make the experience a great experience for all.
Yeah, for sure. What are you looking forward to the most?
PvP.
Yeah, matchmaking.
I mean,
you really?
Yeah. I'll be real. Like PvP, it's what I competed on back in the day. Especially the no bloom, no sprint settings. We have our internal pro team downstairs hopping in and getting some games on that from time to time. It's for sure the thing I'm looking for the most, and to give you guys somewhat of a looking ahead and of future flights. We're looking at an Xbox flight after this, which will be PvP specific, and then we'll find a PC PvP flight to come after that one. So PvP is coming. I'm super excited. Again, the no bloom stuff, no sprint stuff is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And to be honest too, like you go back and I do hop on from time to time at night throughout this project, just hopping on the legacy title, 30 frames, and then you come into the office the next day and you're playing on 60 frames, like seeing
so much better.
Really good graphics, and it's night and day. So that's even with this flight, I'm really excited for the users that do get selected for this to see the firefight experience, because even going to a dedicated server model, right, compared to the peer-to-peer model, there's a lot of improvements that you get for the experience all up. And so it's something we're excited to get in the hands of people.
I played a lot of this from living in the Middle East in Italy.
No way, you played from Italy?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you talk about like the peer-to-peer dedicated server.
Oh no, Sam's host again.
You say that. I had a 360 that was such a monster host box. I would join custom games after they had started to make sure that I didn't get host, and my box would be like, "Oh, you joined a game. Here's host," and it would host migrate everybody to my connection. I thought it was fantastic.
It probably felt like butter for you. Like it's just amazing. Like
everyone hated it.
It's that's like Dana Jerpek, he's our technical designer on the project, and there's times when again, if we have like peer-to-peer enabled, or if I get host in a game, I instantly tell in Reach when I'm host, because the way again your bullets just damage and registered against the enemies, it's like I know it. Without obviously with the DMR you can see the bloom reset. Host feels super good. I couldn't even imagine.
So I played a lot of my multiplayer was like off host, obviously, because I was playing with friends in the U.S. and generally in matchmaking I didn't get host much. But yeah, it was an experience. Like it was playing Reach, playing 3, playing 4, all that from overseas. Oh boy, that was fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned you like matchmaking. What is your what's your favorite map to play on?
Cool. Is this for Reach specifically?
Let's say Reach specifically.
I'm gonna go with I really like Zealot.
Okay.
Zealot's one of my favorite maps from Reach.
Just like the round. It's the Covenant.
Oh, might have got a stability.
Well, game dev is hard,
Well.
guys.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh.
All right, that was fun.
Wait,
Whoa.
no, I'm back.
He's
I'm
back.
Just kidding.
Okay.
We are back.
Interesting.
Known issue. No.
It is now.
Somebody's asking who's playing. That's Mr. Eric Ferdinand, aka IK Grub.
That is me.
I tagged him in the tweets. You can go follow him and tweet and blow up his Twitter account too.
Yeah,
Work
do
in
it.
progress. Yeah.
Do it.
Before getting back into the map stuff, again, this build is something we've cut super recently, and we want we're going to look forward to putting our builds that we want to get out there to Ring 1 and Ring 2 to also validate some of these things. But again, these are the things that we review after this stream, right? Like, okay, we saw this happen during the game. Can we try to reproduce it more consistently?
Yep.
Do we think users are going to hit this all the time? These are the decisions and the questions that we ask when we're developing games, because again, we want to make sure the flooding experiences we get out there are at a quality level that we know that you can get into and interact with. There's plenty of things in here that we will address as known issues for the flight. But again, it's a part of getting you guys a build in a relatively quickly manner. I'll be honest, this flight for sure, back to the original question, tons of variables, tons of things now compared to the campaign flight that we got to think about, and we want to make sure that again we're putting the right thing out there.
And now we are going to have, like, for those that do end up in the flight, there will be we're going to be updating the Halo support site with a list of, like, here's all the known issues. So if you're in the flight and you run into an issue, check that list before you submit a ticket, because if you don't, I'm going to be grumpy. And so we're going to be working on stuff like that. So there will be like a, hey, we know this is a thing, we're working on it. But honestly, like, sometimes running into bugs like that is helpful, because then you know what to fix, right? Because if you don't, like, well, okay, why? But if nobody reports it, then you're even, it's even more useless, right? Got to make sure you get everything.
That's why we flight.
Exactly.
And that's, I think that's one of the, again, I haven't been in the game industry quite as long as some of the guys and gals I work with, but seeing something like flighting is such an amazing tool that you can really leverage with game development to allow you to see what things look like in the real world, right? There's things that only we see on our corporate network, right? Or in certain networks, to where, like, users that are on their own home connections or home environments, they don't see it.
Or vice versa, right? That's my favorite. I was like, hey, this is the thing that's happening, and I go to try it at my desk, and I'm like, works for me. And then they're like, well, we need to test it not on CorpNet. And I'm like, well, I'm at work. So I don't know. I have no way of testing. But yeah, I don't. People are asking, I can't see the game, the guy keeps dying. I mean,
it is heroic.
Live,
it is heroic.
Yeah.
I won't lie. It's not easy. Heroic.
You guys should have seen me practicing before the stream. This is bad. Jeez.
So let's see. I'm just trying to catch up on chat. I've been watching a little bit. Is the multiplayer game? Oh, I don't think we've really talked about anything about, like, game chat or anything like that, right? Like, we haven't really gotten into too much of any of other features.
Yeah, there's definitely, when we look at the PvP flight, there's some features that we're looking at, especially with, like, text chat, right? Like things that are new to a Halo title,
right?
Right, and so, like, that's something we really want to validate with flighting and get feedback on improvements we can make with it. We're obviously getting a place where we feel feature complete. And happy to flight it, but again, those are features that are new. That's like, let's flight it. Let's see if people.
Let's see what people think.
Yeah, what people think.
Yeah. Sorry, Scoops again is in chat. So wants to know if Playing Dead is in armor ability. If that's new.
Playing Dead is an armor ability.
Scoops is
yes,
great.
it is. It's actually my favorite one. It's the one that I tend to equip by default.
Yeah.
The Play Dead feature.
So. So what's your favorite? So this is a question that comes up a lot, like, in chat when we're playing normally. Mm-hmm. You get to play one map and one game mode. Any Halo title, like anything. What do you play? That's the only thing you get to play for the rest of your career.
One map, one game mode.
This is Kenny's favorite question.
Of any Halo?
Why do you make it so hard, Kenny? One map, one game mode. I think game mode, probably Capture the Flag.
Okay.
I'm a huge Capture the Flag fan, and I like the variable that you kind of have to do this, like, baiting and switching with flags.
Right.
Especially on the competitive side, I always saw some cool stuff there. And then on what map? Capture the Flag. I would say I loved Onslaught from Halo 3, which was one of the Forge created maps for the competitive circuit.
Yeah, which if you've been watching any of the grassroots stuff or anything like that, we've seen a lot of it pop up.
Exactly. But in terms of for Reach, I'd say Zealot Flag would be, like, my Reach specific one that I want to play.
Okay. What about, so you would say otherwise, if it was any title, it would be Onslaught?
Onslaught, probably, yeah. I really enjoyed Onslaught. Onslaught Flag, it was just a great game type, especially if you had a really good team. It was fun.
So you used to be a pro player. What's your favorite moment from that? Like, do you look back and be like, this one tournament was my favorite, here's why?
So, as some of you may have seen, Tyler Blevins, Ninja, took a picture today of the Halo statue. And so I came across a conversation today with Tyler. And it went back to this memory that you're asking that.
Perfect.
That's a good mix, right? Ninja in the house, but talking with Tyler just made me realize the Halo 4 win that we had. It was my only tournament that I'd won. I'd gotten within the top 8, within the top 6 plenty of times, but that was the one that felt like you had 4 guys that were really working as a team and their ass off to want to win for the other guy. And it was there's another team, my Warriors Halo Reach team, which I felt that way when we got second at Providence. But in terms of moment, like, it's that winning moment, Like, I loved the history I made with Reach, for sure. But when you win in that moment and you're right there, it's, I think anybody could contest, right? Like winning feels so good.
I mean, it's like winning any sports tournament too,
yeah,
right?
And regardless of the teams that show up, and regardless of, again, the event, like I remember winning that, and I remember like getting a few tears in my eyes because, again, you work so hard for this moment, and then when you succeed, it feels like you're on top of the world. Yeah. So that was my best competitive moment, or favorite competitive moment.
Sorry, going back to the one map, one mode. Ocean Valdez says CTF and Blood Gulch. That's, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty standard, like pretty classic game type, right?
Of course, yeah. And that's the thing. Like I definitely come with more of a competitive mindset.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I know, right? Who would have knew? But yeah, for sure casual, like Blood Gulch, CTF. Heck, I even like Zanzibar One Flag, like was another good one.
Okay.
That's the thing, like with especially Halo 2, there were so many one-sided game modes, one bomb, one flag, that were just so much fun.
Sam, people are asking, can you invite friends into a party to search Fireflight?
Yes, you can. Yeah, we're cover our like Golden Path flow with inviting users through Steam. And again, if you're friends with users through the roster, so we have that outlined in our essentially in our mails and our known issues around things that
how
work.
To and
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool. There's your answer. Look at that.
That was another thing, right? Like even looking at issues and how we prioritize like the flow. Like, okay, we did all this. Well, we have a social element now with Firefight that we didn't have with campaign.
Right.
Right. And it's like, okay, can we make sure we have a solid enough social element where it's like they can invite each other through Steam or they can invite each other through the roster. So it's, validating that we have some way to have this be a good social experience.
Sure. Because, I mean, one of the things like Firefight or whatever, it's more fun with friends, right? Let's be real. Like, it's fine. I've gone in and I've played my share of Firefight all alone, but it's one of those experiences that is just more entertaining with friends, I think, because you can do silly stuff. You can, hey, let's try this. It's a great play. It's a low pressure, like, nobody's going to get mad if you jump off the map, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you jump off the map with a flag or something, they're going to get mad at you. Why'd you do that? So I like to goof off. I don't know. What was the last blocking bug that was fixed from the Ring 3 blockers? Are we talking about stuff like that?
I'm happy to just kind of let you guys know like things that are common and that we've seen in our earlier rings, right? That became a bigger issue for us to label it as a Ring 3 blocker. So for example, the one bug we're looking at now is like having a extra device plugged into your machine causes you to crash when loading in or causes instability.
Extra device being?
A controller.
Or even a second mouse.
Or even a second mouse that we noticed. So like, again, there's these things that, some people might have secondary devices signed in, right? And I don't know technical reasons why these things crash, but reasons,
right.
this crashes, and this is a common thing that I think users will have plugged in or will have on the machine. So we're going to use today and use the coming days to validate that, right?
Sure.
And make sure that issue is not occurring anymore. Additionally, also like losing input in the front end was another one that was on the lower side of a repro.
Well, you don't actually need to see anything, right?
Well, yeah, you don't need to move your mouse.
No, not at
but
all.
again, these are things that are going to affect that golden path that a user could potentially get stuck with no input, right? And they got to quit the build essentially, right? Or quit the application,
right.
And then relaunch. So again, we want to make an experience that can be stable for the users that we're flighting this out to in the public.
For sure. Scout ODST wants to know, like, how did you become a producer? What skills are needed? That's a good question.
Definitely back to the people person stuff. Like you need to interact with all different types of various folks. So you're going to come across designers, artists, engineers that are both introverted, both extroverted. You know what I mean? And you got to learn ways that you can connect with these people, right? And this helps building rapport with them and getting to an understanding of expectations and the job you need to do to help both of you be successful. So I would say you need to know people very well. In this industry, and I think in life, networking. One of the things I did back when I was on the pro team was the pro team here internally for 343 was network with some of the folks on the Waypoint team, on the website team, because they were working on stats, right, for Halo 5. And I was like, well, I love stats, I love numbers. And I connected with a producer on that team, and he just gave me some feedback and some input. And it's really finding that mentor or person that you can ask questions about, ask the experience they deal with.
Because there's always somebody that knows more than you.
Correct.
Always. And And that's not a bad thing.
It
That's
isn't.
not like it's just a fact of life, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You learn so much as you continue to make those type of relationships and friendships with folks. Is you always want to be curious, right? And it never hurts to ask questions.
Yep.
So I would say networking, being a people person, organizational skills, right? Like
Scoops actually just brought that up. Good note taking.
yeah, good note taking. Organizing, right? Like understanding the right questions to ask next time, even like just the right questions to ask. Because even with me, you know, I'm in some meetings where, you know, very, very, very super technical maybe, but I can ask questions to help me understand how it might impact a timeline, right?
Yeah.
Or how it might impact a feature. I might not have to get into the weeds on exactly what's the functions exactly happening, but I need to understand impact, timelines, how long things are going to take. But it's a lot of fun. I'll give you that. Like if you're a person that is again a people person, you like working with others. Like it's a sweet role.
Nice. So is that the end of that one?
That is the end of that one.
I do one more.
I do want to do one more, but I do want Eric Ferdinand to go into just the setting stuff real quick. Sure. Just to again, we have the support in the actual title for you to adjust. But here, as you can see, if you open up, let's go select on that one. Here you have obviously some options some ones that you've seen from the last flight, as well as some new ones here. So you'll be able to adjust your controls in this page. As he scrolls down, you can see obviously more and more options. I assume everything felt well from the last game, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
You can go to the top and select your key bindings. So again, similar to what you saw in the last flight, we have some key binding support here for you to obviously put the keys on or put the controls on the keys that you feel most.
So I'm actually playing on a modified setup right now that's mapping melee to center mouse click because that feels really natural.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And then if you go to video, we have a field of view slider here. This now goes past 90. Our last one in the campaign flight went to 90. So we do have, again, that feature expanded a bit there. And then some additional more settings in this screen. So we're excited, again, to get feedback on this.
Basically, you want to give people the option to play how they want to play. What feels most comfortable for you, right?
Correct. And again, these are a part of that PC first experience that we want to get get eyes on and get feedback on as we.
Good accelerate thing. No,
I know. Play on
accelerate.
120 field of view.
Let's we can go back and start searching.
All right, we're gonna search the other mode, right?
Yes. Yep. Let's do Firefight Arcade.
Sounds good.
All right, Tyler, get your guys searching arcade.
Throw some fun into the mix. I've actually enjoyed this one a lot. Firefight Arcade. It's you get depending on what variant you get selected, you get like unlimited ammo. You can get rockets and jetpack. Like I found I think it's a rocket and fuel rod one is just like my favorite because you're just like flying and just destroying everything.
I was playing in matchmaking.
Corvette.
Yay!
Yes.
I'm glad it's not Holdout. I'm glad it's a different one.
Yeah, me too.
We were playing. Like I played. I went into whatever hopper it was on retail Legacy Reach. I was searching one day. This is way back when, and I got Scarmageddon on Waterfront.
Oh.
I got a perfection on it because I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die to these skirmishers. Most stressful game of my life. And I don't have my 360 anymore, so I lost because I saved that one, but it's gone now. But that was probably my top moment. I'm done. I'm never doing this again. But it was worth it to do it one time.
I even love just doing that now. Like I was saying, there's some nights I'll go home, again, just get situated on my console and be like, you know what, I want to play some back and pat Halo Reach. And, I get into games where it's like, I've had a few people like, Derskeezy, why are you playing Halo Reach right now? And I'm just, it's really cool that we have the ability to do that now and even interact with some of those fans. And, some, if, again, depending on if they're hiding on rocks, don't know this is coming to MCC,
I'm always surprised by that.
It happens. I mean, again, some people are super into social media, some people aren't. But again, it's been actually really cool having some of the late night conversations with some of these folks with the old voice chat where you could tell the the way it just kind of renders and comes in, it sounds super old school. But it's been fun having those interactions with some of the legacy folks, and just to your point, playing these historical legacy things that we're even looking for feedback and going to be validating for this flight, right? So as an example, the last heroic firefight, some of these variants were 30-minute variants, right? Could go that long. Typically we have some averages of where we think those games should last, but this is like, we're in a world now where it's 2019, right? The game is now almost 10 years old. And we have the ability to adjust these things if they feel like they're too long of sessions, right? So that's another thing we'll look at, average match duration and things like that from this flight to see if the majority of our matches are falling in a window that we feel happy about, right?
I mean, I bet you that's something that not a lot of people would have taken, like, people watching be like, oh yeah, that is a thing that you have to like think about, right?
Yeah, games are very different nowadays. You know what I mean? Very, very different. So
they are.
With us bringing this forward, MCC, we're in a world where we can have those conversations and have those discussions.
I mean, 'cause it's one of those like, if they're not happy with your game, they're not as likely to stick around and go to a different mode. They're likely just to change games entirely. So you got to find a way to like, we want you to stay, we want you to be happy playing our game. How can we do that? How can we help you help us?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. Try to keep up on chat. How are you doing over there, Liz? Liz is being a rock star and helping us out tonight.
I'm good.
Per usual.
Big thank
Yeah.
you. Big
Thank
thank
you,
you to
Liz.
Liz. We love you and the support.
Being here, this is great.
We started at the emails, and I just could like imagine Liz looking at all these emails of like, you want to do what?
No,
You want to
it's
do what? Team Liz. Yep, lot of love and chat for Team Liz.
I hope the test team gets better. I hear there's a plague going around, so.
At least some of us from Outpost Discovery. I went to Outpost Chicago, and I came back with con crud for sure. I was out of commission for 2 days.
All right, but how was it?
It was amazing. It was fantastic.
No regrets?
None whatsoever. I have family out there, so it was kind of dual purpose for me being out there. But one of the big things was I actually got to do an event with one of our Make-A-Wish guests that was attending
Awesome.
Chicago as well. That was fantastic. And lots of love to KP and John Friend for facilitating all that. We really couldn't have done it without them.
Awesome. Yay! Have you been you went to Philadelphia,
Yeah,
right?
Philadelphia was a blast.
Because that's where you're from.
Yeah, similar to Eric, like obviously there was an opportunity to talk, MCC and CMCC, but like having my family experience that stuff was like.
I wanted to go, and I was gonna bring my parents, and then my dog got sick and cost me like $1,000 in vet bills. So hey, that's cool. I couldn't just leave him all alone. I would like it was fine, and I just would have felt really bad leaving him like with stitches and like having to wear a shirt the whole time.
Priorities, Sam, priorities.
Yeah, I know.
I think you
being a,
picked the
being a
right
good
one.
mother.
I know. Somebody wants to see you put it on 120 frames for just like 5 seconds.
I guess. Sean?
You go for it.
Yeah.
You get your wish, accelerate.
Yeah, he's gonna, if he gets in the flight, he'll.
I mean, yeah, I hear he really enjoyed the first flight.
Yeah, no, is it
Accelerate, yeah.
Accelerate with an 8? Nice,
Yeah.
yes, I remember, yeah, that was gonna say that. The way people, there we go, 120, boom. We have a guy with the
It looks fast, but it's not.
It's not. We have a guy with a super, super widescreen, the one from the blog, Jared.
Yeah. Who's
and-
actually playing this game with me right now.
Yeah, he's actually in this game on a lot wider setup than Eric Fernand is.
Yes.
What were we just talking about?
Accelerate.
Oh, Accelerate, yes. The campaign stream. I remember tuning in. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah. So he apparently he was playing like he texted me on Discord. He's like, "What's Dursky's Twitch name?" And I was like, "I'm pretty sure it's just Dursky." Why? He's like, "Cause some guy named Dursky showed up in my stream and I didn't know who it was." And I was like, "I'm pretty sure that was him."
Yeah, and that's, again, like with everything going on and obviously with us, preparing for the flights and when they are happening, we're very in a place where we're monitoring this the whole time it's going on. So we do these digital and physical war rooms that essentially we're seeing obviously the players that are playing, the concurrency and things happening. And that, I was able to have a chance to, at least in the last flight, hop into some Twitch streams, right, and see some users and Accelerate. That it was an awesome stream, man. Like it was super cool seeing you interact with the product for the first time. I think that's what like really motivates the team here and motivates everybody. Is again to Eric's Fernand's point, the seeing people play MCC PC at Outpost, right, and going back to the studio and hearing the things that they're saying and getting feedback. It just motivates you that much more to deliver on this thing in a good way.
He's super happy. He's giving you the crying heart.
Yay.
Nibre says playing at less than 360 degrees. Pa. Oh man. Bonsoir de France. Okay. Welcome, Max. I think. So man. Top down adventure view. I think that was the Spartan Strike games, right, or something.
Twin stick shooters?
Yeah. Top down.
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
That was cool.
This is giving me a headache. Like, just watching the field of view is ridiculous. Oh, we're gonna teabag. Okay. Actually, to be fair, somebody over in the Xbox chat said if you're not doing that, then you're not doing it right, apparently. So there you go.
I actually cleared teabagging with the crew in here before we went on stream to
This
make
is
sure
true.
that was okay.
This is true.
Like, I'm asking the important questions right now.
You would.
So Eric,
Yeah.
what's your favorite part of like happening? What's of the build that's happening right now? Like, what are you looking forward to the most?
I am looking forward to getting our next flight out the most. To be completely honest with you, we've been working really, really hard on trying to solidify and lock in a build. And every day that we test a new build and get a new build drop from our partners, it gets better and better every day. So we're just really looking forward to getting something out and collecting that feedback and figuring out ways that we can improve it in new ways.
Nice. Oh, that game. Oh,
We're good.
Like
Somebody-
right there is again like a network hitch that we're able to obviously after this game see like what happened, right? Like, and then as we continue testing, is this something that's common we're seeing from every game, or let's say we flight this build, do we see this in our rings? Again, these are all things that just come up, right? And it's a part of game development that we need to obviously just understand, right?
Eric, somebody wants to see the other end of the field of view spectrum. What could go wrong, right? They want to know. No,
I mean, it's just 70. It should feel pretty
somebody was
standard.
hoping it would be 1.
No.
No.
Excuse me while I vomit.
It's actually feeling pretty good at 120.
Yeah, it's crazy though visually seeing like again like you can do this to a Halo game. It's pretty cool.
I will
Yeah.
say though, going from 120 all the way back down to 70 that fast, it feels so much slower now.
It
Yeah,
does.
it looks like you're like walking through molasses. It only goes down to 70. Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. Neat, please. What? Oh, they all want you to go back up to like 90 or back up to 120. Basically, go to something that's not 70 is what they're saying.
Please?
Yeah, they've all said please. When your gun takes up half your screen, lol. Nice. Very nice. Changing the graphics settings in game, that's what we're doing. That is what we're doing. So, May, you got any questions or anything that you want to bring up that we haven't covered? Or?
I think like we've covered a lot of stuff today.
have.
Like again, to let the group know, like we're very actively, again to my point before, looking at this as potentially a Ring 3 build, right? And so that comes with some awesome stuff, right? We could be flighting super soon. Not today. Not gonna bite my tongue and say any dates, but we're gonna further evaluate this build and see if this is the one that we're gonna get out to flighting.
Because I saw somebody on Reddit, like, they caught the tweet. I tweeted out about this yesterday. And they were like, maybe they'll be like, it's available now. And I was like, no. And then instantly got downvoted like 3 times. I was like, I just feel like there's somebody there just mad, and that's the only thing they can think to do is like downvote. Like, how dare you tell me no?
Yeah, and even again, I could see potential future stuff. Like if there's a flight going on, these always happen on a Wednesday. Like there could be some opportunities in the future that could align to that. But like even
Not today.
what's great about the Halo Insider program is like we're able to see the data these users filled out around like what are the most common times you want to play in flight.
Right.
And like typically you're gonna see Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
It's like people have time on the weekends.
Which is obviously kind of known, right? Like, clearly probably the weekends are the best
Right.
one, but like it helps us understand, the user groups and certain people that we can target at certain times. So
Yep.
I wouldn't say it's not something that's not possible,
Sure.
like flighting on a Wednesday in a stream, but it just we got to make sure we align the pieces and that it's
But it's
it all
not
adds.
happening today.
not today.
So many happy grunts right now.
Yay.
Yeah?
See, one of the things that we have to consider for flighting is that we need to put a build out there while we understand that going into a flight it's not going to be completely perfect and polished because it's still pre-release content. We have to make sure that it's functioning enough to be able to collect good objective feedback. So if there's areas of the game that we need feedback on that are blocked, that are crashing, we can't access, then we're not going to be able to collect the feedback that we actually need. So that's a big part of how test assesses these builds and how we look at it. We have criteria that plays into that.
Somebody's asking about the Jackal shields, and I think that's a known issue, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, work in progress, known issue, known bug. It's on the list.
And we're actively aware.
Yep.
We again, there's a few animation things. It's just all up within Firefight. Again, talking about the networking model, right? There's just things that we're still continuing to clean up as we get closer to, to shipping this game. So again, to your point, we're having no issues on the Halo support site. Letting users know things to keep an eye out for.
For sure. Will Fireflight be playable at Outpost Discovery next weekend?
I had a conversation about that today.
I know nothing.
I will make no comment. But
are you going to Outpost next weekend?
I will not. But maybe if Firefight's at Anna, I'm kidding. I might use that. But
just talk about priorities.
Yeah, had a conversation today. I think there's again just a lot of things we want to make sure. You throw into account those venues, right, and the internet there. Like I want to make sure that back to this build, there's lots more variables than just one campaign mission. So
speaking of next weekend, I saw somebody on the Xbox side did ask if we were going to be at PAX, and no, we are not at PAX. We're not going to have anything there. I think this is kind of an off year for Xbox as a whole. I think.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like
we've got XO coming up though.
XO's coming up, which is huge.
Who killed the engineer? The smartest person in the room, probably. So everybody doesn't have shields. But yeah, no, XO's coming up, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think it's just low-key year.
Yeah, and we're excited to at least use E3 as a place to really kickstart. Obviously, people playing MCC PC for the first time.
That's exciting. I never thought I'd get to play this in more than like in 60 FPS and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have an FPS that they're playing on right now? The people have been asking. I don't know if this is something we're talking about. So by all means,
60 right now.
This build will be locked at 60.
All right.
Again, similar to the crossplay stuff, we know uncapped frame rate is a feature that is requested and something that you can do on PCs, right, with the hardware and the machines you have.
Right.
So again, definitely something we're actively aware of.
Okay.
But
that's fair. Sorry,
nothing more to
watching
comment.
chat too as it goes. I don't know that we're talking anything about competitive Halo on PC and stuff. That would be a Tashi question, I believe. Anything competitive Halo?
I think what I will comment. Yeah, I know, right. I will say though, like this is something super interesting with it. Like we're in a point with Reach coming to PC that at least myself and maybe some of the other console players that have played for probably the 10+ years, like I feel super confident sitting down and with a controller, an Xbox One controller, and actually being like, no, I'm not going to lose to a mouse and keyboard person, right? Like there's kind of an ego there, but it's like we've been playing on these controllers for 10+ years on these games.
Wasn't it somebody at the Fortnite thing actually just like he won with a controller?
The PC player or the guy who got first had a PC. But Aiden is a player that's on the PlayStation 4.
I think somebody won with somebody was like top 3 or something with the gamepad. I thought somebody won.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing, right? Like seeing Fortnite, right? That there's these controller guys that can hang with the PC guys.
Yeah.
I won't argue that your range of motion on a mouse and again, like your reaction with the mouse compared to a joystick, like no, yeah, like for sure.
You can be way more
there's
precise.
This muscle memory, at least to answer the competitive side, that like there's this muscle memory that professional players and players who've been playing on console for all these years just have in their heads and in their hands that I'm actually looking forward to, like, how PC players, would even compete against a controller player.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, also somebody pointed out Snipe Down at Apex at the X Games. Yeah, that's another one. So.
Holding it down for the
Yeah.
controller crew.
I don't know. You guys are all catching up on chat with me, yeah. Xbox is just really all about the stickers. They're so cute. Oh, it's the Gears Funko. It's the Gears Pop ones. That's what they are. Okay, I was like, what on earth are they? And then I realized, they're little Funko Pops. Okay. Let's see. Searching again. No, I think we're done at the 2. Unless you want to say we have time for one more. We got
How long did that Firefight arcade game go?
12 minutes.
12 minutes. Yeah,
we can start up another one, but I'm not
we can
entirely
always end
sure
it
if it'll
early.
be done by the time.
Yeah, let's
arcade.
Yeah,
let's do
arcade.
another Firefight
Tyler.
arcade.
I die
Arcade.
way less in arcade. Also want to give a shout out to the test team that's upstairs that's supporting these matchmaking games. It's Blake, Jared, and Colin on our test team. Thank you guys so much for supporting this and carrying me in these games.
I just that comment at the end, carrying me in these games.
Let's see. Hashtag test team.
Hashtag test team.
Okay, Kaney, I'm a little offended by that because I really like my Grump birthday party armor ability effect thing, whatever it is. In Reach, that was the only thing I ever spent any of my credits on in Reach. Was like the Grump birthday party, the hooray!
It's
so good. It's so good.
I'm sure people saw the Elite image we shared the other week. Tyler
Yes.
post them shared in the blog. or forum posts, or I think it was the Ring blog, the
Yes.
flighting blog. Looks super good. Yeah, like again, those screens are coming along. There won't be any of that for this flight, but again, back to when we're ready with these things, we will definitely look at opportunities that we can flight it and get in front of you.
What's been your as you're watching this come together, right? What's been the biggest oh my god, this is so exciting, this is a really great moment? Because I know there's a lot of it, right? It's all, hey, look, and we got the third map. Look at that, 3 for 3.
Yes, let's go.
Excellent.
Good showing.
Go Beachhead. I would say the best moment was outside of me seeing and being actually in the room with the guys, when we had Duck get the competitive settings ready, and the pro team and I hopping down there and just playing no bloom, no sprint stuff was super cool to be holy crap, we're playing 60 frames right now. We have some guys.
How good did that feel?
Super good.
Yeah.
You had some guys, plugging in their controller, to the PC. You had some guys playing mouse and keyboard. And so that was a super cool moment. And then after that, I would say when we were seeing the customization screens come online in Unreal, just seeing the quality and the fidelity with them, even at the state they were in of still work in progress. It's just
Would
this
you
game.
say they were unreal?
They were unreal.
hey, let me have that.
It just gave you that super awesome moment that holy crap, this game still holds up super well to this day.
What keyboard are you using over there? It looks like a
I'm using
Razer.
a Razer, yeah.
It's a Razer keyboard, Ocean. Set the graphics options to low.
Oh yeah, I saw people asking for that.
Is that a thing we can do?
Maybe.
Yeah, go for it.
Maybe we're gonna find out. Any chance we get stats from the Reach build from Outpost Discovery or Gamescom? Probably not. I think that's information that's not really relevant.
For Gamescom?
Just the stats and stuff, I guess, if people
yeah.
played.
I've seen a lot of cool pictures.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen a lot
Thank
of cool
you,
pictures.
Noah, from
Yes.
our market, and Unishek from the marketing and community team. The
Yes.
pictures look great.
No, I've seen also pictures of Gamescom as a whole. No, my feet are good. I like my
That's
feet
what
attached.
I always heard.
It's massive. You think E3 is bad? It's 3 times as big as E3. Hard pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass. My feet are very happy not being there.
And just seeing some of the comments, because I know I think it's Noah and John's first Gamescom.
Yeah.
Just seeing some of the comments from the vets in the studio on some just mail threads of just cheers to the first Gamescom, because to your point, they know it's, again, there's lots going on, lots of walking, lots of standing, lots
Yep.
of people, right?
There's somebody from some
Oh, yeah, Nick is
Yep.
there as well.
Yep. Let's see. So what else has been going on? We've covered that. Covered a little bit of Outpost. I don't know. How's the rest of your summer been?
Good, busy, for sure with this.
It's you're working on a video game or something.
I know.
How dare you?
But it's, again, this is a project when I saw that I'd have the opportunity to work on it a while ago, something I was super excited for. But overall, solid Seattle summer, not amazing, not too awful.
I'm
but
actually really disappointed with this summer. The fact that I woke up today and it was raining and was
Yeah.
I want the sunshine.
But,
That's a Seattle summer.
Apparently the last few years have been abnormal, and this is a more normal thing, and now I'm feeling lied to.
Well, I think that the thing that got me the most, I like the outdoors a lot, typical PNW person, is the smoke from the recent years, with the forest fires, unfortunately,
That's true.
has, I haven't seen any of that this year that made it up to Seattle or in our area.
Yeah.
So that's just been a bit better outdoors to
Yeah.
not breathe in the smoke. But yeah, it's been good. Probably vacations in the winter time coming up here for me. I don't know where yet, but
Somewhere.
somewhere with a beach.
Yes.
And sand.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a good
well,
plan.
there's people call beaches out here, and there's pebbles and rocks. And where I grow up in the East Coast, it's no, a beach needs to have
I
some.
mean,
Redondo.
it's interesting, right? Because the East Coast, like you said, is sandy and all that. The West Coast tends to be rocky.
Yeah.
But then you go to Europe, and the East Coast of Europe is rocky and stuff.
Oh no way! I didn't know
Yeah. So because if you go to the beach on the eastern coast of France and stuff, it's all rocks and pebbly and kind of quarry type thing.
Yeah.
But then you hit the Mediterranean, and it's all sandy. So I think it's just the shifting kind of, and then you go to the east coast. If you hit the Pacific on the other side, it's all sandy and stuff, in Hawaii and everything like that. So.
You learn something new every day. I had no.
Yeah, because when we went to visit my uncle somewhere in the south of France one time, and we went to we went to the ocean, like on the Atlantic side, and it was all rocks and stuff. And I was very confused because I had been living in Boston, and my dad would take me to like Cape Cod, and it was all sand. And I was like, why? So it was very odd, very different. So it's just the way I think the currents work, right? Geography, geology, and all that. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to understand it.
Life.
Yeah. Don't like the sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating and gets everywhere. I will take it. I want to go sit somewhere and like stick my feet in the sand and just in the hot. Yes.
See, I wanna try out Bora Bora.
Yes.
I don't think I would want to come back. Like, I think that would be dangerous. Like, just go and like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna live here. That would be great. Actually, I do want to go scuba diving out there. That's like on my bucket list. It's on my bucket list. What other hobbies do you have? Like, do you have anything crazy? Any secret hobbies that we don't know about?
So I love just like obviously being active and exercising. Definitely picked up like yoga like a few years ago.
Okay.
And working in games, like it sounds weird, but it's like it's such a great mental exercise for you, and it puts you in a great place mentally.
Okay.
Again, lots going on, timelines, deadlines, coordination with people, and it allows you to really kind of step back and just focus on your breath. Like again, as weird as this sounds, like you know, things happen so fast with a lot of our lives day to day. That just taking the hour and a half out of your day to again do something like yoga has helped me a lot, just with mentally being still sane.
So 16-year-old Sean would be like, hey, you're gonna be way into yoga later on.
Never knew it. Yeah.
Sean is the most zen person on our team too, as far as I know.
Trying, yeah. and you know, people can I think tell the days I don't do yoga.
I feel like you are pretty you are pretty stable. Like, you don't seem to get flustered very often.
Yeah. And so that's helped a lot. Hobby-wise, like I said, like Seattle, there's so much to do outdoors.
Yep.
So like snowboarding, I've been doing a lot of kayaking this year, which is tons of fun. Yeah, and other than that, just trying to learn more about this part of the world and the country. Like
Yeah, because you're from the East Coast
as well,
so,
right?
Yeah.
And so there's new things you learn each summer, right?
Yep.
When the weather is a bit better, and each winter too, of like, oh, I can go to that mountain if I want to go snowboarding.
Yep.
So it's been good, trying to stay busy. A lot of the pro team guys, or the pro team, have moved out here. So being able to have more and more friends that I knew through Halo and competitive gaming move out here just has been cool to be in a new city and just do new things together.
So if anybody is new to chat right now and aren't aware, Sean actually started out on the 343 pro team. Mm-hmm. So he kind of started out there and has transitioned over to the production team for the.
And absolutely loved it. And again, I give a lot of appreciation to Bonnie and Chris at the time, even Chris Lee and some of the other folks that were there at the time. It's as being pro players coming into the game development industry, you just learn so much about sort of the things I was explaining here, of like all the different plates that are spinning, all the different things happening at once, engineering, like animations, graphics. Like there's so many variables happening. Like one day the build's going to be great, and then one day the build might not be great, right? And like just understanding that like we're developing a game and we're going to get to that light at the end of the tunnel and get out a really good product. But there's a lot that we learned in being on the pro team, of interacting with the weapons team, the multiplayer team, all these various teams that have big roles, and you want to make sure again you guys are on the same page and coordinating.
So what was it like when they were like, hey, do you want to come work for us?
It was awesome.
Did you expect it? Sorta?
Kinda, sorta. Like I think it got to the point where like I had found that my bandwidth of time throughout a day was leaning more towards the stat stuff and the Halo 8 point stuff, like I had mentioned previously. And so it just got to the point where it's like, you know what, I really enjoyed doing this, that I'm gonna make my days now split 4 hours with the pro team, 4 hours with this. But then when I got the opportunity, and even just recently with going full time, like I was so stoked and excited to be like, yes, like I've been working so hard to find something I love to do. Good. And this product, like to everybody watching, like this product is something that just, again, I'm so excited when this is all said and done, all games are out and we're continuing to sustain the title. It's going to be awesome.
Good. Yeah, I'm excited. Was moving across the country hard for you?
Family-wise, yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like you miss your family.
I'm the
more
youngest.
Than you.
I'm the youngest. Yeah. So
okay.
mom was.
Mom must have been so sad.
Mom didn't want me to go, but it's like, Mom, I'm 19. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm still a kid, but
you are. You will always be her kid.
But it was hard for the family. But just being able to going back twice a year, twice 2 to 3 times a year.
I think easily that's what I miss the most too. Is like, because I never got to spend a ton of time with my parents. Like my dad was always gone and everything like that because he was in the Army. And then I moved away just in time for him to retire. So now he's home all the time, and I still don't get to see him because I'm across the country. But no, Sean is no longer 19. It's like, wait, he's 19?
I know, right? If I was 19 right now, dang.
You've done really well for yourself.
But yeah, with time and with experience, right? Like being 19 and starting on the pro team, and then being 26 now, it's crazy.
Man,
Like
that's a long time.
I know. Yeah, going on. I was at the end of my age of 19.
All right.
But it was, it's just wild to see again how much even the studio, again, the games we were working on, and shifting from 5 to Infinite, and then obviously with MCC and the update we did last year, like just a lot of cool stuff going on. I've seen just a lot of stuff at 343 over the years, which has been fun.
Yeah. Awesome. We're about out of time, so we got a little bit of housekeeping to wrap up with. So Eric's just going to keep playing, I think. I don't know how close they are to finishing up, but let's see. So MCC actually just got another playlist update today because Dana apparently has nothing better to do with his time than keep making all these playlist updates. No, seriously. Duck works really hard at getting all this out. I don't know how he does it.
I want to give a shout out to that man right now.
Yeah.
Like on top of us getting into a good rhythm with doing these every Wednesday and giving the community new
insane.
and fresh stuff is insane. And amazing, but like even him as person on the team, like he's growing so much into roles where he's able to support us on the engineering side. So again, if we have engineers now that, let's say with 3 engineers and Splash Damage is all sleeping, right, or they're in a different time zone, we have the ability to really obviously see what things Dana can help support us with. So I've been super stoked to see how much he's grown on the team.
So today's update was team doubles focused, I believe, right? There were some changes. I saw the link go into chat, so be sure to check that out, especially if you're into team doubles. I think with some matchmaking variants and some map variants, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure Tyler can tell you because he wrote the post. So that is happening tomorrow. I believe Castle Wars and Halo 5 is phasing out, and Core Play is coming back. So if you want to do some 4v4 social, there's your chance. Let's see, what else? We've got Outpost Anaheim is next weekend, so if you're in Southern California and want to go, check it out. HaloOutpostDiscovery.com. I always forget. Like, I type up all these notes and then I forget because it's the end of the show.
All up, we're, again, when we're, done evaluating this build and seeing if we got all of our Ring 3, blockers, like flighting, this build, right, is something on the horizon, for sure.
We'll keep you guys posted on when that's happening. Yes, that's the other big one. Thank you. The team has been really hard at work at making sure that we can somehow preserve some of your Halo map legacy maps and modes. Last week we migrated something like 2.7 million game variants. Not even maps. I fully expect the maps to be way more. Because you can use the same variant on like 4 different maps, right?
Lots of content.
So that was 2.7 million game variants that were migrated over. If you have maps that you want ported over that's from Halo 3, Halo Reach, or Halo 4 on the 360, be sure you log into your account and put them in your file share. That's happening on Monday. So basically last call, get that done. That is the other big thing for that. There you go. Kenny put the link in there too because he's great. Monday is maps, yes.
That was a sick catastrophe.
Yep, I'm getting there. Face It Ignite was last weekend, so shout out to Talks. I think they won, right?
Yep.
I'm shocked.
I know. But even like again, I watched actually some of the end of the series there, and I know it was Snipe Down and Ace subbing in for the Talks team out there in the UK. But it was awesome to see the UK players. Like you got to think like, especially depending on the servers, right, and the matches that they're actually getting and the scrims that they're getting against some of these teams online. They were at a place where they could play on a local area network, right, against some of these top teams. And so that was really great to see. I forget the name of the team, but it was Haulers and Brandon Stones, Respectful. Those guys did put up a good fight against Talks in the finals, which was cool to see.
I, for once, had a normal sleep cycle on the weekend, so did not get the chance to watch any of it.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about HCS and pro team stuff, or like competitive Halo. UGC Atlantic City is coming up September 7th, the weekend after PAX, I think. So
Yep.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, I think. I can't math right. So that'll be there. Be sure to check that out if you're in the area. Or if you want